mentioned that the way that you guys handled adversity wasn't great. And then today, you're playing a game where you lose an 11-point lead. What was the difference between the way you guys were able to rally together and figure it out in this game compared to some of the road struggles?
I mean, it's part of the ebbs and flows of the season, like obviously we're a new team that's pretty transfer dominant, and so you still are just getting that familiarness with other guys and like understanding their energy, and part of that can only be experienced when you're struggling. And so, after the Iowa game, and then especially after the Rutgers game, where it was kind of coming down the stretch in the exact same fashion this one was, where we just had to find a way to get a stop. Our offense was all right. I mean, obviously besides the ridiculous amount of turnovers, but the biggest thing was it's just like understanding that if we're gonna finish this game, like it's gonna have to happen on the defensive end. And so everybody just kind of understood that, and obviously at no point in the game are you thinking, oh, this possession doesn't matter, but just playing with that extra edge that once we break this timeout, like we really got to set the tone from this first play. And I think there was like a stretch where we had 3 or 4 turnovers in a row, or missed shot, like just bad shots, but we weren't giving anything up on defense. And so that's the only reason we were able to stay in this game and eventually obviously put them away. Was just being able to rely on that defense to take care of us. And so just kind of getting that connectivity and just knowing like what certain guys need and certain things you got to say, and just it's all a little chess game out there.
Joe, how much of a priority conscious effort was it to get the ball down low, get to the rim, especially early in the game?
So I didn't go into this game thinking it was going to be as much as it was, but like we knew, like obviously like the scout, like we knew they were going to switch, and we knew there was going to be opportunities. And so basically anytime I cut or set a screen and I felt somebody that was below like 6'6", I was like, all right, get on the block. And it's a credit to everybody else, because as soon as the switch happened, I was yelling for it and they found me. And so like different guys had their moments, and it was nice because we were able to kind of get them out of their defense to where they weren't able to trap the post once we kind of opened it up outside. But Coach had talked a lot just about their aggressiveness on defense and how they disrupt, how they trap the screens. And that's something that we'll still have to improve on and build on for next game, because we didn't do a very good job kicking it out of the ball screens very efficiently. So that's just another way we'll be able to improve once we play at their place, obviously, and the turnovers. That was ridiculous. I don't know what the margin being, but I think we had 15 more than they did, or something. It felt like that, but yeah, we knew that they were going to be aggressive, and so like whenever we had a switch and we had to answer back, you got to take advantage of mismatches when they present themselves. So,
Keisei, when defenses are pulling on you, bumping you, and making like life hard for you on offense, how hard is it to keep your head level and not get frustrated and wait for your time to come like it happened today?
Yeah, it's definitely hard for me to play with those type of defense, but I still gotta keep moving, and then it's gonna open if I keep moving like that. So I just gotta wait for my moment to come to me. So yeah, I think it came to the right end of the game today. So I just gotta keep playing like I do all the time.
Keisei, does it ever get old hitting shots like that at the end to seal the game?
No, really. It's always fun. It's always exciting. Especially like those end of the game moment. Yeah.
Keisei, you jumped into Derek's arms right after the game. What does his friendship mean to you, and how cool is it to see him this weekend?
It was super cool to see him. We played together for 2 years. It was super nice to see play from him. As a fan. Yeah.
Keisei, this is a little random, but what is the celebration where you put your hand over your ears? What does that mean?
The Steph Curry did against the I don't remember what game it was. Yeah, he just like that. Yeah.
of course.
Yeah, nothing much. Yeah.
What did you see on that play that got you over? It was about the most open you've been all game. It felt like that last shot.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what happened there, but I think we execute very well. So somehow both of the guy went to the post, like dive guy. So I was like, okay, I take the shot.
I mean, it was huge because, I mean, at the end of the day, like, you never want to have, like 20 turnovers in a game or whatever it may have been. But, sometimes you got to be able to win ugly. And that's only possible if you're able to fall back on your defense. And so, obviously, it's pretty frustrating, the fact that, we couldn't get like a good possession together offensively. But it's just kind of like a testament to what we work on and, people being able to respond after the way the Rutgers game went, where we just couldn't get a stop to save our lives at the end of the game. And so, like, I mean, it's there's a kind of that yin yang, like it's the good and the good with the bad. We still have yet to play, I believe, like our best like defensive game. I mean, especially with a lot of the mistakes we made with like straight line drives tonight. But we won the rebounding war and quite handily, and so I mean I think that's a major reason we were able to pull this one out, even with the obviously excessive turnovers.
Josiah, coach was talking about how in the locker room today there was no dancing or water throwing or anything like that. You guys are trying to take on a business onto the next one mentality. I guess, is that something that you guys as players are already starting to embrace, maybe compared to earlier in the season?
Mm-hmm. I mean that's kind of that's like the principle of building a culture in a program. Like if you think about it, like a team like Purdue, like I mean it's hard to believe that they probably don't celebrate a game till March. Like that's just because all they know is being the top dog and winning the games. And it's almost just, even when they pull off a big one, big buzzer beater, they're probably upset that it was that close. And so obviously, we haven't had the same success here at Nebraska or the same, history and accolades and stuff. But at the same time, like that's the goal and that's what you're working for. And so obviously, it's like nobody was sad in the locker room, but we're happy. A win is a win. It's hard to win in this league. But at the same time, like you got to make sure that guys are going into the game and finishing the game with the confidence that they're supposed to win this game. And when you do something that you're supposed to do, you're not expecting a pat on the back. Like, you're not showing up at work and being like, hey, I didn't crash today. No, it's like you did what you're supposed to do. And so it's just that kind of approach and just being professional, understanding there's more games to come. Like this isn't March. Like we still have another game to prepare for, and so like obviously enjoy it. Like it feels good, but we got a good team coming in here on Tuesday, and so we got to really wash this game tonight and be ready to go tomorrow, and start that prep.
Josiah, I know you talked about it ad nauseum how clutch Keisei is, but what was your vantage point on that three-pointer, and what was it like celebrating after the game?
Well, so we were doing offense, defense, and so I was kind of like sitting there right on the bench, and obviously I think who knows what I could have done, but no, it was it was amazing. CJ had a great layup going left that kind of got us ahead, and then for KJ to come in and put that dagger in him, I mean that's huge, and I mean it's who he is, and so this is my first year playing with him, and so I'm still getting used to it, but I don't see it getting too familiar anytime soon. I'd love more of them, but I'd also love it to be a 20 ball too, but we see.
Josiah, to have the game that you did today, especially in Shawan's absence, did that take on added significance or a bigger idea of what you needed to do today?
Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously, I had said it on the floor, but Juan's a hard guy to replace. Like, he's hard to do as a one-for-one swap with. But I knew coming into this, like, coach, this game, now more than ever, like obviously every game, he wants me at my best, but he really needed to be able to rely on me and handle my stuff on offense and defense. And so I just tried to approach it with that same aggressiveness that Juan does, and I had showed in like some previous games, like at Iowa, and just kind of get that extra emphasis inside, and just because the big thing has been setting the tone. Because I think this is the first game we've won the rebounding war since South Carolina State, and so obviously that's you can't expect to get out rebounded every game, especially in this league, and expect to win. And so I know I didn't absolutely just wash the boards tonight, but everybody had a collective effort. I know Keisei had some big ones down the stretch. And just as a team, like, I tried to really stay that front of, making sure my guy didn't, big bearded dude, I forgot his name right now. But, he's a load down there. And so I was more or less concerned with making sure he doesn't get it. And, guys did a great job coming in and cleaning it up. And so now it's just kind of one of those things where, we got to build off it. And then once Juan is back healthy and feeling ready to go, then, you kind of add him into the mix again. And then, you really start cooking with fire. But yeah, I could definitely enter this game, pretty sick after the Rutgers one. And I wasn't going to let us get off to that kind